Good morning, dear third year students. Today we are going to start with the short stories, and first of all, we will deal with the short story named The Umbrella. The Umbrella is a very interesting short story written by Guy de Maupassant. Guy de Maupassant was one of the shaping spirits of modern short story. His stories deal with the middle class values and conventions. He deals with the simple people's problems, and his characters are derived from his deep observation of the middle class and the lower middle class people, the peasants, the workers, etc. And he never sits in judgment on his characters. It means that he is not judgmental. He writes what he sees, he writes what he observes. He writes realistically, objectively, precisely, and yet graphically. So you will find the short story, The Umbrella, very interesting. So, in this short story, we have two major characters, Madame Oreille and Monsieur Oreille. It is a couple, and it is a short story about Madame Oreille's frugal nature. Frugal means she was a miser. She did not like to spend money. She used to save money wherever she could. So let me read out. Madame Oreille was a frugal soul. She knew precise value of a sou. Sou means the currency, and was armed with whole quiver full of rigorous maxims relating to the multiplication of money. It means that she was always ready with sayings and maxims relating that you should save money. Her maid found it no easy matter to feather her nest, while Monsieur Oreille had great difficulty in squeezing pocket money out of his wife. Now you should note the word squeezing. Monsieur Oreille, he is her husband, and he used to earn the money. But see the paradox that when he wanted to take back some money, he found it very difficult to take it out from the pocket of his wife. Although the pair were comfortably off and had no children, it was pain and grief to Madame Oreille to part with her shining silver. Now you see, this couple did not have any children, so they were less expensive and they were comfortably off. Means they were not very poor. But still, she was such a miserly lady that she did not like to spend money. And whenever she had to meet some substantial but unavoidable expenses, it cost her a sleepless night. She used to have a sleepless night whenever it was mandatory for her to spend some money. Now we can understand that how very miser she was, and how she used to love money a lot. You really might launch out a little, urged Monsieur Oreille again and again. We never live up to our income. Now, this statement shows that they did not spend money according to their earning standards. You see, he says we never live up to our income. It is better to be on the safe side. Now, this is the answer from Madam. One never knows what may happen. Generally, what happens to students that people don't spend money, they save for future. It is good to save for future, but they save on the cost of present needs. This is wrong. So, she was a neat, wrinkled woman of 40 with an uncertain temper. Her husband was continually fretting at the hardships she imposed on him, especially at certain galling incidents which wounded his vanity. Now, we all know that if we don't spend according to our earning, then what happens? Our vanity is wounded sometimes. Vanity means our pride. Our self respect is wounded if you don't spend money accordingly. He had a post as a head clerk at the War Office, which he retained in the deference of his wife's wishes, thereby increasing their already redundant revenues. For the last 2 years, he had come to the office with the same patched old gown, which had become a standing joke with his brother clerks. Now, I read out to you the introductory part of the short story, and now I will ask you that when you listen to this lecture, first you should read the story twice and then attend the lecture. So, now I will deal with the short story analytically. Now, this man, husband of Madame O'Reilly, he worked as a head clerk in the War Office, and he was a part of a joke. He was becoming a standing joke. Why? Because his umbrella was torn. Now, what happened? That he was insulted day after day. In the office, whenever he used to enter, almost everyone used to mock at him, and he used to feel hurt. So, what happened? One day, he went to his wife to request for some money so that he can buy a new umbrella. So, she gave him 8 francs for an umbrella, and you see, she gave him such less money, amount of money, little amount of money, that he could buy only such an umbrella which was made for the purpose of advertising. So, if you buy something which is made for the purpose of advertising, there are advertisements printed on it. So, all the more he was insulted by his colleagues. And we all know that such things are not of very good quality. So, the people around him in his office, they recognized quickly that this umbrella was made for the purpose of advertisement, and they laughed all the more. And this purchase proved to be a bad bargain. And within 3 months, it was worn out because it was not of a good quality. And again, people started laughing at him, and it became actually a subject of a song. Subject of a song means almost everybody used to mock at the umbrella of this O'Reilly. Now, he could stand no more. No, he could stand no more means now it was becoming hard and harder for O'Reilly to stand this joke. So, whenever the insult is very much, you get strength out of it. So, he gained strength and he went to his wife with double energy in order to demand for some more money. And we all can understand how hard it might have been for him to go to his wife, how tough it might have been for him to approach his wife for some money, because we all know that his wife is a miserly lady. So he demanded for 20 francs for a new umbrella, but she compromised at 18 francs, and crimson with mortification, she handed it over to her spouse. Notice these words, mortification. She died internally because she was forced to spend 20 francs. There she cried, that has got to last you at least 5 years. So she gave a warning that this new umbrella, it should last you at least 5 years. Now, don't expect me that I will go on giving you more and more money. Now, the exultant owner. Who is the exultant owner? Monsieur O'Reilly, her husband. He was exultant. He was happy Why he was happy? He was happy due to two reasons. First of all, he had gained a new umbrella. Secondly, now he will be able to put an end to the joke of his office. So he was very successful, and at the office, everybody appreciated him for the new umbrella, and he was very happy. And he returned home with his new umbrella, and his wife shot an uneasy glance on the umbrella. She was looking at the umbrella with a very bitter look. Why bitter look? Because this umbrella had cost her a lot of money. Now, she started giving him instructions that you should not keep the rubber band fastened because he will cut it. Now, you see, she is not taking care of her husband, but she is more concerned about the umbrella. She's not asking him for some coffee or tea or refreshment, but as soon as he arrived home, she is concerned about the new umbrella. And what happened? Something very tragic happened. When she opened the umbrella, she was really horror struck. She was petrified with horror. She said, "Just look at that." Now the husband was very easygoing. He said, "What's the matter?" Her indignation almost choked her. Now she saw something in the umbrella which choked her throat. She could not speak. Imagine. She was so much horrified. She started stammering. You have gone and burnt a hole in your new umbrella. You must be crazy. Do you want to ruin us? Now these words from his wife really shook the husband. He could feel the blood ebbing from his cheeks. Why? Because he thought that the umbrella was all right, but the wife has discovered holes in it. And what happened? Really, when he saw the umbrella, he saw a lot of holes in it. Now, this was too much for his wife. She was so horrified and so filled with anger that she could not speak. And she flew at him as if to strike him, violently thrusting the little round hole under his very nose. He stared it in horror. How on earth did that happen? Now there was a hole in the umbrella. Now, this person, he was innocent and he really didn't know about the incident. So he says, "I don't know. It wasn't my doing, I swear. I can't understand it at all." "Oh, I know," she retorted. "I wagger you were fooling about it with the office, opening it and showing it off." Now she imagines and says that, "I know that you must be fooling around with the umbrella and showing it off to everyone." Now he says that, "Well, I really did open it once, but to show it that how beautiful it was." Now the lady was stamping with rage. Rage means excessive anger. And she was so filled with anger that she fought with her husband. But like other wives, while fighting, she was also mending the doings of her husband. So she started mending the hole. And you see, it was a very beautiful silk umbrella. And she mended it with a piece of cloth of another color. Now, whenever you make a patch on something very beautiful, it is projected, it is shown, it is seen by everyone. So, next day, when Monsieur took the umbrella to his office, naturally everybody was curious about it and he was hiding his umbrella from everyone's eyes. Why? Because now it was not his pride. Again, his umbrella has become a thing for other people to laugh at him. So he put it away in his cupboard and relegated it like any other painful memory to his subconscious mind. Now it became a patched up treasure. Notice the use of words. It was a treasure for him, no doubt, because he had attained it with a lot of efforts, but now it was patched up. Why? Because his wife had put a patch on it in order to cover the hole. Now, when he returned home that evening, his wife snatched the umbrella out of his hand and opened it to satisfy herself as it to its condition. Now, the second day, again she was filled with horror in order to look at the umbrella. And her situation was lamentable. The whole cover was riddled with tiny holes. Now, yesterday it was only one hole. Now, today there were a lot of tiny holes sprinkled all over the cloth of the umbrella. Now, they were burns. They were evidently burns, as if it was purposely burnt by the ashes of cigarette. Now, it was as if the glowing ashes of a pipe had been emptied all over the silk cover. The umbrella was a ruin, hopeless ruin. Now, yesterday it was in a condition that it could be mended, but today it was a ruin, hopeless ruin. Hopeless ruin means now it could not be mended. Now we can understand the situation of the wife. She was speechless with rage. She stared at it while her husband surveyed it, dazed with horror and consternation. Their glances met. Then his eyes fell. His eyes fell means he felt ashamed. Right in his face, she hurled the pitiful remains. Now, what are the pitiful remains? The umbrella. Now it was past mending, it was past repair. You wretch! She screamed, her powers of speech restored by a rage. You wretch, you did it on purpose, but I will pay you out. You shall never have another umbrella. Now we can see this threatening. She is abusing her husband. She is using abusive language for her husband and saying that you did it on purpose. And this is your punishment, that you shall never have another umbrella in your whole lifetime. Now, there was a tempest in this domestic life. Tempest means a storm. Storm means they had a fight, they had a quarrel. And he says that the husband said that he did not have any idea about the happening. So he says that it might have been an act of jealousy. His colleagues might have been jealous of him, that their joke has come to an end, so they might have ruined the umbrella. Or maybe the ring at the door. At that point of time, when they were having a debate, somebody rang the bell of the door, and it was a sigh of relief. Why it was a sigh of relief? Because it was a distraction for the husband and wife between the fight. So it was a friend who had been invited to dinner. So a friend came in, and Madame O'Reilly, as expected, she discussed the matter with a friend because it was a major loss for him. And she says that, please don't give me this idea that I should buy another umbrella for my husband. This is impossible. If you have any other idea, you are welcome. So I will stop for now and continue in another lecture. Thank you.